Get it ready, boys.
You are live now. Well, here we are. Game 4. I almost said game 5.
Not get ahead of ourselves.
I know. Well, that's Saturday in St. Louis. We'll get to that. We got plenty on that. First non-Central Division opponent of the season after 3 straight to start the year. We'll get into all of that. Luds has got possible breakdowns. We got lots of things to talk about. Got a few video clips. And we're going to guess about line combos. And we'll tell you why next. You're on the DLLS Stars Pregame Show. This is the DLLS Stars Pregame Show as we get you ready for tonight's game between the Dallas Stars and the Vancouver Canucks. We have Craig Ludwig, the 2-time, don't get it wrong, 2-time Stanley Cup champion.
The other guy.
What other guy?
Oh, that's right. He's not here.
Yeah, R.I.P. Sam. No. He'll be back. Yeah, Ryan just freaked out. Sam likes to make that joke about John, our old producer, which I keep saying. He's still with us. He's just on the Cowboy show. Sam, we hope you feel better. Get back soon. Sean will be here for the postgame show, not for the pregame show. Ryan Vaughters is our producer, and I'm Owen Newkirk, and we're glad to have you here.
Ryan Vaughters is frustrated right now.
We've been giving
technical frustration.
We've been giving our producer a lot to handle today, haven't we? Yeah.
You started it, not me.
I did, but you didn't. You haven't given him the cat treatment, which was what?
The cat treatment?
54 screenshots.
Well, that's her fault.
That
she
was
didn't
the
have
record.
to put that many on there.
She asked for
pick and choose
the full experience, and she got 54. Was it 50? Yeah, something like that. It was a massive
I'm sure
number.
She'll be twittering in or something.
Oh, will definitely join the chat at some point and let us know how many screenshots the record is on the show. As I said off the top, it is the first time the Stars will play a team that's not in the Central Division this season. And actually, after St. Louis tomorrow and then Nashville the following Sunday, Stars barely play Central Division opponents the rest of this calendar year. Then they play, I think I counted it up, 15 in the second half from January 1st on through the end of the regular season. But that's neither here nor there because
though, here's a little trivia.
Ooh,
well, it's not really trivia.
Fun fact.
The Big 5 in the Central.
Okay, so Colorado, Dallas, Winnipeg, clearly. The Big 5. Are you giving Minnesota?
St. Louis and Minnesota.
Okay, well.
Because the other ones aren't, right?
Right now.
Yeah.
Utah and St. Louis.
This year, when those 5 teams have played each other, I believe they're 12-5-1. When they
the Stars are?
No, that's what they're combined.
Oh,
wins and
I see.
losses when just those 5 play each other. Okay, when those 5 are just playing each other, but when those 5 are playing other teams in the division or in the conference there, they're 8-1.
Oh, I get you. So it's these guys are beating up on each other, and then they're feasting on the bottom feeders.
Yeah.
Or Nashville.
That's why I call them the Big 5.
Yes. That's
maybe they're not the Big 5. Maybe just the Big 3 and the other 2.
I think it's the Big 3.
Big 3 and the other 2.
There's a middle class.
Yeah,
and
it's
then,
like the step kids. The
redheaded stepchild. Yeah, for sure.
St. Louis and...
Let's start with this. It's a schedule for human beings again. We get a normal game tonight, 7 o'clock.
I think Ryan liked that one.
I got that reference.
Well, seriously, that's it. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Thank you, Brian.
Some of us don't mind really late games and really late nights.
Well, I think the fans on a weeknight.
Yeah, that's true.
Like a Tuesday night home opener that starts close to 9 p.m. local time. And what did we start our post-game show? I think it was like 11:40, 11:45. So the people are just leaving the arena at 11:30 or getting home after midnight. That's tough on people to have to go to work on, as you like to call it, on hump day.
Or maybe they just took the day off the next day.
That's way smarter.
But down here was dead when I walked out. Everything was closed.
Well, it was also 1 o'clock in the morning almost, so on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Somebody
even
hit my
one of
car in
your
the parking lot.
I forgot. I was going to ask you the follow-up, but we'll get to that later. Let's talk about the lineup news of the day. Matt Duchene is not going to play tonight, although he was close, and that was good news from Glenn Gulletson was that he was a lot closer to playing than not. It's not going to be a long-term thing. They ultimately determined that Game 4 of the regular season, why force him into that? Why not give him a day or maybe more? We'll see. But he did participate in most of morning skate today. He didn't really do the power play stuff, which then gave us the suggestion, oh, hey, he might not be playing tonight. And they kind of decided that it's okay that he doesn't rush himself back into for tonight.
Well, it's all about that first 10 minutes of exercise. After you get a concussion, you're typically what they'll do when they start getting you cleared is you jump on a bike and you ride for 10 minutes and then you get off. And do you have any symptoms? Are you getting a headache or anything like that? If not, then tomorrow you do 15 minutes or 20, that kind of stuff. So maybe today.
And to be fair, I don't know if he actually was diagnosed with that, because if you did, I think the protocol to get back up is more than 48 hours.
Yeah, but it's probably just again, I mean, he didn't have a shoulder injury.
No. But he did have
he got his bell rung.
He did have some bruising on his face.
Cobwebs and he
got the shoulder cap
but
right in the face.
To your point, they made the right decision. Yeah. And again, if it had been me or one of them other guys down on the bottom, you can go. You're good enough. So just shake your head.
You're fine. It
goes
won't
away.
affect you.
Yeah.
Well, what does it mean? But because Oscar Beck is injured and Jamie Benn is still on IR as well, that means that Adam Ernie's going to make his Dallas Stars debut officially. Of course, he played the preseason, but Adam Ernie will be a Dallas Star officially after tonight's game. And so here's our best guess, because Duchene was still centering his line with Ritzgovian and Sagan this morning. So here's what I threw together. If we assume, and I want your opinion on this, but if we assume that they're going to stick with Steele, Hintz, and Rantanen at least to start, we know Gully and his staff like to jumble a bit. Then and sort of the third period the other night against Minnesota, we saw Wyatt up there with Sagan and Robertson. So they talked about at practice yesterday, Gully said Foxa can play the third line center. So maybe Ernie plays with Bork and Foxa, and you go Ritzgovian because he's the center then with Blackwell and Bastian. That, again, this is just me throwing it out there of this combination based on a few things we've observed. And I showed you this before the show started, and you go, yeah, I don't like this at all. Why?
Well, because we've seen now, and again, I do believe that you're right. They're going to start this because they have, and they haven't lost yet.
Yeah.
So again, that always plays into it. But what happens with maybe not even a whole period left or whatever it is, Steele comes off, Robo goes up, right? So, and I mean, just one little tidbit about those three guys. In 3 games, they got 56 shots together when those three are together. Okay, so my opinion is you have those three together.
Say it again. 56 shots?
50,
like shots on goal?
Yes, 56
So they're
shots.
actually getting pucks to the net with that trio.
Those 3 guys.
Whew.
Yeah, so I'm just saying we noticed they're dangerous.
Yeah.
You know how many shots Sam Steele has now?
No.
3.
So
that's
not
why I'm
the
saying
same volume.
I don't think I said this the other night at the postgame. I don't mean this in a negative way. I just think that when those 3 are together now, because of Robo more so than anything, the way that he's playing right now, they're dominating. That's the way I feel. So, but again, I get if Gully's going back to the well and we're having success, and maybe that gives us a little tempo and a little more jump to start games, a little more physicality with Steele up there with those 2 guys. I get it. That's fine. But I just think those 3 guys together, and then I did this in postgame show the other night. Then I put it together because I didn't even think Duchene would be even
based
an
on
option.
what you saw, I was like, oh wait,
I'm like, he ain't playing the next game. So, and then I put Bork on the left side with Johnston and Sagan.
with Robo at the top line.
Yeah, with Robo at the top line. Then I had Ritzkovian with Steele and Blackwell. Steele and Blackwell play together. I mean, they play together now since they've been here.
That's not a big line, but that would be a scrappy line.
But they're a scrappy line.
Yeah.
And they're a PK duo, those guys.
Yeah.
Then I put Ernie, Fox, and Bastian there.
The Steele Blackwell, there's a connection there.
Yeah.
There's an understanding.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And then what's your 4th line?
But right, that way that you have there, not you or however you have.
That's my guess. It
Well,
wasn't
that
say
puts
that's
even when Blackwell's playing on his offside, I don't think he's effective as a right wing guy.
You
Some
think he's
players
better on the
are.
right?
Wyatt can play anywhere in the ice. I just think he's good right winger. I think he gets up and down. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing anywhere. And I like Ritzkovian. I think if Ritzkovian played with those 2 guys, with Steele and Blackwell, like that's got a little bit of everything to it.
There's snarl, there's scrap,
they're
there's
in
some
your
speed.
face kind of thing.
Yeah.
And again, he may be putting lines together like this because of the opponent. But I do agree that, they've started every game with Steele up there on the left side.
Every single one so far.
So, but then they go away from it and they just
A lot.
get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get away from it, and that's okay. But maybe they're getting away from it because of what I said. Is because, again, what is your stats right now? They're 30th in the league on shot attempts or something like that?
Well, to not get ahead of our segment later, the Dallas Stars are 30th.
No, 30th in shots against.
Shots against.
So there's something, because again, when you put those three guys together, where do they mostly play? In the offensive zone.
They control possession.
Yeah, together. When they're not together, then the other two guys spend a little bit more time in their own zone for whatever reason it is. So, but again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Start that way, keep going.
We've talked about Adam Ernie quite a bit because of his PTO at training camp. Then that spot, who's going to win that spot, especially with Jamie Benn injured and out for at least a month. We'll see. Well, we asked Glenn Gulleton, who's talked about Adam Ernie, and we've played it on the show, but this morning, I believe it was Leah, our friend from the Dallas Morning News, asking Gully what he's expecting.
Leah that was brave enough to come on our show.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she'll do it again, too,
few.
for sure. But here's what Gully had to say about what he expects the impact of Adam Ernie as a player tonight.
He's going to be, energy, right? Good energy, and you got a guy that's played nearly 400 games in the league. We're playing against a really good forward-checking team tonight, so we're going to have to do some of that ourselves to try to, keep them in their D zone as much as we can. So he's a heavy body, so holding pucks and give us some zone time and get into the hard areas.
Luds, the reason why I put Ritzkovian down on the fourth line of my guest lines was because he can center. It allows Fox to go to the third line. And Adam Ernie's got some offense in him.
Yep.
And we saw it in the preseason. It's not just physical forechecking. He can create stuff around the net.
And he keeps it simple because when he does get the puck and he's in that scoring area, the pucks are going to the net.
Yep.
He doesn't usually look for a better play. And Gully's right. I think he plays well along the wall. Seen him fight for pucks and dig in there, and there's always a battle with him. He's a big body when he gets to the front of the net. So there's a lot of little things that he does that will add to whoever other two guys he plays with.
And remember, and Tyler was telling me about this the other day, Sagan, that he remembers seeing Adam Ernie at the doctor's office. He had the same hip surgery the same day.
Oh, yeah. That's
Tyler
right.
went in first. Yeah. Adam was next. And Ernie said to us when he signed, he goes, "This is the best I've felt in 5 years at least." And he goes, and I had the similar conversation with Sagan. He goes, "I didn't realize how much the hip was bothering him until he had it done, and now how much better he feels." And Tyler said for him, it's not so much pain, it's mobility, flexibility. It feels like you can move a lot better after having that procedure.
Yeah, I think a lot of players are like that because we just live with stuff, right?
You learn to live with it.
And you don't want to miss games, and you don't want to miss practices, and so you just deal with it. And credit to guys like Tyler that said, "Listen, I'm a lot better player, and I feel a lot better, and I need to get something done." And he's proven it since he's come back, and hopefully he stays healthy now. But yeah, and especially for the guys that are a little bit older. But again, if you're older, you're kind of afraid of losing a job if you take some time off. Mm-hmm. If you're younger, somebody else might take your job, getting in the lineup. So I think sometimes you just have to go get it done.
All right, Luds, I want you to react to this because this was something that Gully was talking about at practice yesterday. He brought it up again today on managing momentum within a game, specifically when being asked about the Stars not yet feeling like they've played a full 60-minute game.
We had a great conversation yesterday, and I think I mentioned it. It's so tough in the league now because there's so much parity to dominate a game for 60 minutes. It's almost getting like, basketball, you see runs. And I think it's becoming more important now to manage the momentum in games rather than think you're going to dominate somebody for 60 because the teams are too good. There's too many good players. There's too much parity. And so I think one of the things we talked about this morning in our meeting was just managing some of the moments in a game. Sometimes the clock is the best coach of a game. What this time and score is dictates how you play and what kind of risk you put on and off the table. So I think it's hard to play that 60, but I think it's more crucial now that we manage the momentum within the game.
The key word was moments. Momentum is a series of little moments or moments put together one after another. And so it's more about what happens when you lose momentum. How do you go back and get it back? and it ends up being where you don't try to do too much, and it'll be about pucks need to get out of our zone. We need to get pucks into the offensive zone because you create a lot of momentum in the offensive zone, obviously. So when you're trying to do too much and passes are breaking down and you're trying to go through on one side of the ice the other, if they've got good structure and it's getting broken up, that's taking momentum away from the flow of your game. And so you put those little moments back to back to back, and that's where you get your game back together, or you keep it going in the same direction. But again, everybody keeps on forgetting there's another team that wants to put some momentum together
Also
too.
trying to take
Yeah,
that momentum
yeah, so-
themselves. And that's what Gully kept saying is that this league is too close. The parity is such that you're not going to dominate. And we've heard other coaches. Pete talked about that a lot, even last year. It's, can you withstand their pushes and play your game for 60 minutes, even if it's not under full domination all the time? It's, can we avoid being, Razor loves the word getting caved in. Can you avoid being caved in for a period of time?
And you just got to be able to stop it, their momentum.
Yes.
You have to be able to put a pushback on their momentum. And again, it's probably a little player. It's just eliminating a guy, and you take people out, you pin and seal them, and it stops it and slows it. You get help, and we talk about numbers all the time. You got people that can come and pick it up, and that stopped their momentum. Now you have an opportunity to create some of your own.
All right, up next, we're going to talk a lot more. We got goalie matchups because we have a new starting goalie tonight. Talk about that. We've got, all sorts of stuff, including maybe some play breakdown graphics for Luds here on DLLS Stars Pregame Show.
It's the shirts. It's the shirt segment.
It's your favorite
the
segment.
DLLS merchandise, and we've got all the shirts that we like to look at, don't we, Ryan? Do we have the otter one? We don't have the otter one.
I had to get rid of
Do we have any?
I have.
Do you want me to draw pictures?
Sorry,
I can draw an otter.
Ryan's been very
draw an
taxed
otter.
today.
Do you have the otter on? Oh, yeah. There we go. We can draw. I was just joking. I'm not going to draw an otter.
Can you draw an otter
I don't
in,
know how to draw an otter.
less than 30 seconds?
What's another name for an otter?
I think that's the only name for an otter.
Is it?
I mean, it's a mammal. It's a... This is the best part of the merchandise read. Is Lud's...
That shirt right there is the Jake Ottinger shirt. That's the otter. Okay? And then we also have, what do we have left? Well, we got
Finnish Mafia.
Jake's the otter. We got the Mafia shirt, which is the #1 shirt, I think it is. It's the best one.
We have a Moose shirt.
Can we talk about Roddy or no? That's not part of us?
No, it's part of DLLS, so we can.
Yeah, we can. It's Roddy is the female basketball. Rookie of the year.
There it is.
Paige Becker.
Becker's.
Yeah,
Very
look at
good.
that. I
You're
got
right
this
there.
down. Who else? What else do we got? Oh, there's the Roddy shirt. We have the Roddy shirt, but we don't have any of the Dallas material, the Dallas Stars shirts, the Dallas Players shirts.
He had to clear
Do we
them
have the
all out.
Jamie Benn with the visor on there? No, we don't have that.
Captain, the Moose,
marker.
the
The
Wyatt.
Moose. Well, we have Ludwig's Moose shirt.
There we go.
There's the
That'll
Mafia
work.
one. See, there we go. Oh, I'm way past my time. Go
You
ahead.
are. That's fine. Let's talk about Supporters Club really quickly. As you look in the chat, actually, welcome tonight, Jackie and Daryl, 2 new Supporters Club members at the top of the show.
That's an otter wearing a supporter.
Boy, I'm glad you explained it because I wasn't sure what that was. Check out the links that Ryan will be putting in the chat momentarily. Supporters Club, True Sicko, Love, or maybe he won't tonight, but you can sign up to be part of the Supporters Club. You get special badging and special emojis, and there's an extra tier with some bonus content. Luds, let's talk about goaltending matchup for a minute. Casey DeSmith will get his first start of the season as he had a fantastic first year with Dallas, backing up Jake Ottinger, and very much hoping that he continues more of the same this year.
I was thinking of that today. And what was the last game of preseason that Casey played? So we played, how many games did they play? 6?
They played 6.
Played 6.
Casey
Did he
played
play
2.
number 6 or number 5?
He played 5 because didn't Jake play against Colorado for
I don't know.
Team 6?
That's why I'm asking you.
You did the game.
So that preseason.
Yeah, I know.
So how long ago was that? 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
Remember the part about I don't want my guys to rot on the vine? I'm thinking,
Which is why he's not waiting until St. Louis. I thought there was a good chance we see Casey on Saturday in St. Louis.
No, I think you want
But
Jake.
is that because of division?
Yeah, I say division. Remember that record?
Yeah, I do.
No, I think that you want Otter for that. And it's nice that you give Otter a little break in here. But yeah, I mean, Casey, every time Casey's come in, though, he's been really good.
He has.
And
Look at the record from last year, 14-8-2. That's
Yeah.
a very good record for your backup goalie. And the
and he's
matchups
playing
are
on a
not
good
always
deal.
easy, right?
Jim Nill's got a great deal with him, too.
Yeah, $1 million a year for
Yeah.
this is year
Yeah.
2 of 3. And we always talk about backups don't always get the best scenarios. Sometimes now tonight's not an issue for Dallas, but sometimes they get second night of a back-to-back. Sometimes they get
Yeah, they get
lousy
the bad
travel.
starts. Yep.
So and they have to step up when sometimes the players in front of them aren't at their sharpest.
Yeah, and you know what? And again, I think anytime that you're going to have to go 2 weeks in between starts, too, it's not like what Jake gets every other night. And again, you don't want your starters playing 3 and 4 and all that kind of stuff early in the season. We'll see where those numbers goes. But yeah, I think the one thing that has always happened when Casey gets in the net, the team seems to step it up a little bit for him. So I think there's a great relationship for them. I think they respect what he does and the job that he does, because you have to respect those guys, because we know it's a hard
You know what I
gig.
should have asked Gully, and I didn't think about it till just now, but this is Casey DeSmith's former team, the Vancouver Canucks. One thing that Pete DeBoer thought was pretty important that Rick Bowness didn't always do was you play those games, those special games. You give it to that guy if you can. Does that matter, do you think, to Gully, hey, this is your old team. Now it's 2 years ago, but you played for Vancouver, just like Jake really wants to play against Minnesota.
In all honesty, I have no idea how they remember that. They should have somebody like Joe or somebody that comes and reminds them of this.
They might, or it might be coaching staff. Not that Joe, but still appreciate it. You gave him the bell. He was sharp.
I am not paying attention. Sorry.
That's fine. He heard Joe and hit ding. That's fine. Joe Calvillo just got a bell.
Yeah, I think that's probably
That's awesome.
That's probably the last thing that a head coach is probably keeping in mind. Like, this is a former team, if they have a good record against
DeBoer
teams.
was always on that, and I don't know if it was he or somebody on his staff that was aware, but he felt that those times you get a player a little extra motivation, and so that they were acutely aware of that.
Now he's on nobody's staff.
Well, I know, but Hockey Canada.
Well, maybe if they get a rink built in Italy.
I heard that Rome might be a little behind, but we're getting off track. Thatcher Demko, you saw the numbers. He's off to a good start so far. He's had some horrible injury issues the last couple of years, but when healthy, he could very well be in line to be maybe that third guy. He could push Jeremy Swayman for Team USA.
You're saying there could have been another battle tonight?
Yes.
I think when it just comes to Demko, when you talk about his injuries, I think that if Vancouver coming into this season have their fingers crossed, because that is probably the biggest key, especially when their highest paid player isn't doing much for the team. So I think that they're counting on Demko staying healthy, and when he is, he makes a difference back there, like most top goaltenders do.
Well, Luds, you can't talk about the Dallas Stars and the Vancouver Canucks before we get to your stuff, without talking about their last game, which was April 8th of this past season in Dallas. Dallas led most of the game. They scored 2 goals in 24 seconds late in the third, including Mikael Granlund's empty netter. With 2 minutes and 21 seconds left in regulation, they had a 5-2 lead. Game over, right?
Not so fast.
Wrong. Why? Because the Canucks scored 3 goals in the final 60 seconds. Aatu Ratti at the 19-minute mark, Pius Suter at the 19:30 mark, and Pius Suter again at the 19:53 mark, forcing overtime. Then Kiefer Sherwood scored at 3:44 of the extra session. NHL history. Canucks were the first team to overcome a 3-goal deficit in the final minute of regulation.
And I believe Kiefer Sherwood is coming off of a 2-goal game.
Kiefer Sherwood leads the Canucks in goals right now to start the young season.
He has been their best player, and he had a great game the last game that I watched him play. I don't know if it was the last game. I believe it was I think it was 3 days ago on a Monday.
Was that the game in St. Louis? They lost 5-2.
Yep. No, I don't know.
I think you're right.
But I saw, and he had, and it's funny because Adam Foote, the new head coach of Vancouver, actually was talking about Kiefer and just said he basically said when he's not out there trying to run everybody over, he's a really good player.
I saw that quote this morning.
He says he's a really good player. So, and he's got some skills. So I think he's trying to find Sherwood where he's got this happy medium about keeping the physicality and stuff like that, but you can play the game too, so we'll see how he does.
I think we built enough stuff to talk about a 45 to 60-minute pregame show, so we're going to have to trim it down a little bit. Let's take a quick look at the line cards, and then I have a big question for Luds that we want to show. Or do we want to go to the breakdowns, Ryan?
Which one?
Lineup cards, Vancouver, the forwards first. So here's the forward group. Yeah, Luds is laughing because of the order, because that's how they drew it up. The
That's
Canucks,
because
right?
it's the
Elias
highest paid
Pettersson,
guy.
right?
Yeah, that's
But
not the number one line.
Which line are you most concerned about of the top of the four for Vancouver?
Oh, it's DeBrusque, Keedle, and Besser. That's probably, again, the only reason Pettersson ended up there. They're trying to find some way to get this guy ignited. So basically what they did is they just flipped Keedle and Pettersson. So they basically moved Pettersson down a notch, and he won't be playing with the two big guns because Pettersson's the right guy to be playing with Besser. Besser is the guy that pulls the trigger, and DeBrusque, he's such a good heavy. He signed a big deal there to go there from where was he? Boston, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. And DeBrusque is like a straight line guy. He drives to the net, and so he creates a lot of space. Heedle's been playing really well for him too. So and then there's that third line. That third line will be a tough line to play against for Dallas. I mean, and Kane has come in and he's added some physicality, and we just talked about Sherwood. So but yeah, and I do like the one of the guys that Mangiapane that ended up Mangiapane, I should say. Mangiapane that went to Edmonton.
Yes, from originally
Garland
played for Calgary.
reminds me a little bit of him for some reason. They just have this little energy, and they get shots up to the net. They go to the front of the net. They play hard there. So, but again, it's a game that Dallas they play their game. They've got way more bullets than what Vancouver does.
Let's look at the D and goalies for. Of course, we know that Demko's playing, but for the Canucks, obviously Quinn Hughes.
Is that a typo?
No, there are three Petterssons.
I feel bad for people that got to call the games.
EP 40, EP 25, Marcus Pettersson's 29. It's a mess.
Yeah.
But Quinn Hughes, he is not only their stud player, period. At 26 years old, he was third in the league in defensive scoring last year with 76 points. Not as big a goal scorer.
Right now. He's only got 1 point.
Well, Lutz, since his debut, March 28th of 2019, he is the second highest defensive scorer in the NHL with 410 points in 436 games. Only Cale Makar has more, but he has it in less games.
He's a human highlight reel. I picked him to win the Norris this year, I believe. I think in our little thing. So, but
Hughes is darn good.
He is electric, and there may be a little bit of chatter going on with that because the whole offseason there was a lot of talk about him maybe joining his brothers.
That's still very much in play.
Yeah, and so again, just distractions, and I can't stand him. And it's not Quinn that's starting it. He just plays the game. But keep an eye on him because some of the things he does on the offensive blue line are incredible. I've never seen anybody tap dance. Adam Foxen, I thought, was one of the best at tap dancing on the blue line, but Quinn Hughes, he has no fear when he's on that blue line doing little spinoramas and losing coverage.
I was sitting at the rink this morning in Frisco. My kids had early morning high school hockey practice, so I was up earlier than I usually do. But I texted you and said, geez, last game the Stars played the Minnesota Wild. They're right now, small sample size, third in the league in shots on goal per game. And that's 35 a game. High shot volume team. We talked about it. They play a lot like Carolina. They fling at the net. A lot of times it's not high danger or quality, but they do get a lot of pucks at the net. Vancouver Canucks are 28th in the league. They're averaging just 23.3. And I asked you, how is this different stylistically? Because this is a very big difference in numbers.
Well, even when I went through and I was watching what they were doing offensively, they get a little spread out. They play on the perimeter. And they play to make passes to the interior. And again, I go back to Pettersson. He's only got 3 shots.
Yeah.
He has 3 shots for this team, and he's making 12, 13 million. So it's very disappointing for him. And he should be the guy that's driving all this. So what did I do? Their top 6, I think their top 6 forwards have something like a combined 35 shots in their, this season.
So top 6 players for Vancouver.
Top 6. Compare that to Dallas, for instance. They're at 56. I mean, I'm talking about Robo up there.
But that's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. It's territorial. It's getting.
So you're saying that a combined like 20-plus shots on goal in 3 games.
That's it, 3 games. That's a big difference.
That's a huge difference.
And but when you watch him, and especially Pettersson, he's always defers a lot. He likes to set guys up, but he's got such a great shot, and he's not afraid to go to the front of the net. But he's just not.
Go ahead.
But the other side. But
we have a couple of clips. Well,
there's really the stuff that I have put together is more about keeping the puck out of the defensive zone, the way that they're playing. And Vancouver plays a little bit loose in their own zone, so that'll be a bonus to Dallas tonight. And you can see that this is just, for instance, this is a clip that I was showing where Dallas can take advantage of this. And again, this is about the middle of the ice. And look look at where all the space is because they're all spread out in these areas of the ice. And then when they do get to where they're supposed to go, and we talk about this stuff quite a bit, it ends up being where they don't get their head on a swivel, they don't look around, they don't find people behind them. So, and then you kind of look, and you talked about Minnesota.
Yep.
And so Minnesota, it's funny because you watch, and they're getting better at both ends of the ring. But they have a guy by the name of Kaprizov that's got 20 shots.
I've heard of him.
3 shots already in 3 or 4 games where they're at. Now, this is what Minnesota does. This is in the defensive zone now when we're talking about eliminating things in this end. This is where I just want to do this. I want Dallas. This is what Dallas is working towards. And you can see where the numbers are. Here's what happens when you play this kind of a style in your defensive zone. That time and space that we're talking about.
Yep.
And when Vancouver plays against people like this, they stay on the perimeter. They don't end up going to the middle. They got a couple guys that will. And Dallas is working on that. And I think we got a couple of these from Dallas, what they're working on in their own zone, and they can't open it up because they're getting so much better at this. And so you can see here's all the numbers. This is St. Louis's, their setup. And I was showing the way St. Louis plays too, because this is kind of the style that is happening with good teams that defend well. And this is what happens when you play against this kind of a system. Dallas now is end up getting, and again, another picture here. This is Minnesota. Sorry, this is Minnesota. This is their style, what they're playing inside their zone. And look at how difficult it is. Gully has talked about the system and all this other kind of stuff. So if Dallas will continue to play like they are now, with the exception of a couple different times, they will keep those shots to the outside again tonight. But if they want to open it up and spread things out, they're going to get opportunities because they will find the little seams. DeBrusque will get in there. The Garland kid will go to the net. So I think it's important how they play in their own zone, but they will be able to take advantage of Vancouver, I believe, in the offensive zone because they do leave too much space.
Okay, one last thing for you, Luds, and I really appreciate you taking the time through that. Canucks are trying to establish themselves under new head coach Adam Foote. He's not totally new to them because he's been an assistant for the better part of 3 seasons. He came in 3 seasons ago, and then he was full last year and the year before. So they know him, he knows them. But here's what he had to say about Dallas.
Well, they're a good team. They have depth. Their D joined the rush. They've got good goaltending, and they're heavy down low. So they move pucks to the point, we're going to have to make sure we extend coverage and on the right side of some of these guys defensively.
That's what everybody says.
They all say it.
Yep. Dallas is a good team. Breaking news.
All right, lastly, so this is from line rushes from the warm-up. So this is actual versus what we were guessing. Steele, Hintz, Rantanen. Robertson, Johnston, Sagan. So I was right there. Blackwell, Foxa, Bork. So Colin gets the third line, Foxa in the middle, and then Ernie, Ritzkovian, Bastian. Pretty close.
I won't stay that long. I won't stay there.
And then finally, Petro gets another game. Labushkin out for 2.
Yep.
What'd you?
I
obviously, he went and fought Middleton.
Well, I said he earned himself another game.
Yeah.
And I think that if Petro would have had just an average or maybe a little bit below, I think Labushkin would have been back in. But I think because Petro stepped up, and I think that was probably one of the reasons he knew he had to step up, is because he earns himself another game.
All right. Very much appreciate you watching. We have some stuff we had to leave aside. Ryan made it through. Let's give him a nice ice bath, calm down. Maybe one of the beverages
Nice
upstairs.
ice bath?
Ice bath, like, cold tub, cool him down, right? He's all stressed and everything.
Miller Lite.
Miller Lite or 2. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to zip over. We're going to do a game. Luds and I will be here with Sean for the full post-game show, Stars and Canucks. And Luds, how do you think the game's going to go tonight?
I believe that they are going to crush these guys tonight.
We all silly like the mayor.